Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second week, Thursday. It's the IWINETC Grape Escape Destinations Day. So every Thursday we have two destinations to present to you. And today we're in Croatia. So welcome to Croatia. And of course, welcome to Neno Kostodinovic.
Very close. But it's very hard. So
it was very kindly volunteered to take us a tour in and around Croatia to see the wine and culinary tourism delights of the region. Okay. For those of you, it's the first time you've been with us on these seminars. There's a chat facility on the right, and where you can say hello and where you're from. So we see Judith Lewis there, one of our keynote speakers at the International Wine Tourism Conference. Hello from sunny Oxfordshire in the UK. Well, it's a fine sunny day as well here in the Catalan coast. Is it a fine sunny day where you are in Dalmatia?
Yes, finally, it's quite warm compared to the last week, which is really cold, and it snowed even on the islands of Croatia, which is very unusual, and it happens like every couple of times a decade. So it's nice now. We feel kind of spring is coming. And
yeah, I think I saw on the news yesterday in Athens. It was completely covered in snow. It's kind of unusual sight.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We've got, as usual, we've got a poll question for you, which I'm going to pull in. So the question we have for you today is which world famous wine variety originates from Croatia? So as always, there are four choices. I'm going to put them on the screen now. So all vote now, please. All right, so we've got Malvasia, got Syrah, Shiraz, got Malbec, and we've got Zinfandel. So Malvasia is proving to be first choice there. Neno, as we suspected. Okay, so 61% saying Malvasia, 4% Syrah, 9% Malbec, and 22% Zinfandel. Whoever's right, those of you who got the right answer, the answers in the presentation, get the special prize at the end of the presentation. So watch out for the answer. You may be a prize winner. So I'll put that. And so I'm going to hand you over now to Neno, who's going to present to you Croatia as a grape escape destination.
Thank you, Anthony. So I will just start the presentation. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Like I said earlier to Anthony, I know everybody's sick and tired of Zooms and webinars this year, and hopefully I won't be too boring, and we'll give you some pointers and showcase why Croatia can be a great wine and culinary destination for your clients. So, like I said, this is a story of Croatia. What is Croatia known for? Throughout the history, Croatia has always been a travel destination, and mostly for European countries. In the recent times, more and more for people coming from all over the world, United States, South America, Asian countries, and also Australia. And Croatia is mostly known for its history, for its culture, but predominantly for sea and weather, for amazing Adriatic Sea, 1,000 islands. And one thing that was always underlying to all of those clients who were coming back that they were saying that they were surprised with the food and wine that they had in Croatia. It was not the main focus of their travel, but it always kind of surprised them. So what we are trying to do now as a company, and several other companies, of course, in Croatia, is to promote Croatia as a wine and culinary destination. In the background, you can see the picture of Dubrovnik, probably one of the most famous locations Here, recently also well known as a Game of Thrones destination, because that was the place where the show was filmed. So all of these things are adding to the story of Croatia, but underlying, as I said, culinary and wine heritage. So more about that now. Wine producing in Croatia is very old, like in all countries of Mediterranean. The first archaeological findings are from 5th century BC. On the island of Vis, a coin was found with grape and amphora. So it's a proof that wine production here is centuries old, 1,000 years of old. And it's been also very brought here by Greeks, by Roman colonies, and later on as a part of Roman Empire. Right now we have more than 160 indigenous wine sorts, and almost 50% of the wine produced in Croatia is for family consumption, personal use, and rest 50% are produced by the winemakers, of course, in Croatia, and almost everything is consumed in Croatia. So a very small amount of export. There are a couple of reasons for this, but mostly it's the phylloxera that happened in the second half of 19th century, which decimated the production of wine back then, and it took centuries for it to bounce back. And there is also one other repercussion of phylloxera, which was that it brought European varieties into continental Croatia, which we'll see a bit later. Dalmatia, which is the coastal area, still has most of the indigenous wine varieties because of its unique weather and soil conditions. So this is the shape of Croatia. This is the country and its wine regions. As you can see, Croatia is very uniquely shaped. And for a relatively small country, it has great variety of climates, terroirs, and wine regions. There are 4 distinctive wine regions of Croatia. Continental Croatia has 2, Slavonia, which is here yellow, green one, which is Croatian uplands, and coastal Croatia has 2 as well, Dalmatia and Istria region. Wine varieties in those areas differ. As I said, in continental Croatia, it's mostly European varieties which were brought because of phylloxera. So the most predominant wine sort in Slavonia is called Graševina, which is known as Welsh Riesling in the rest of the world. It's actually the most popular wine variety in Croatia, and it's sold throughout the country and used daily. But it has a great potential from fresh wines all the way to full-bodied in the wineries next to the Danube River. This area is filled with old castles, old cellars, and predominantly exported a lot of wines when we were part of Austrian-Hungarian Empire to Vienna and Central Europe. Croatian uplands is different than Slavonia, which is completely flat. Croatian uplands is hills, very, very much colder than the rest of Croatia. So it's actually the coldest wine producing region of Croatia. And also it's very, very famous now for its sparkling wines produced there, and different wine sorts which are brought again from Europe, like Pinot, Cabernet, and different like that. So now we go to coastal Croatia, which you can see here, blue and green. Dalmatia is the hottest area of Croatia. It's pure Mediterranean, lots of sun, lots of warm weather, not so much rain, and this is the area that kept most of its indigenous wine sorts. The most famous wine sorts are Plavac Mali and Tribidrag, which is world famous as Zinfandel. In 2002, year 2002, last 9 wines of Tribidrag were found in the area around town of Split. And through DNA testing, it was proven that it's the original Zinfandel. Now, almost 350,000 wines are planted in Croatia, mostly in Dalmatia, and it's growing exponentially. So revitalization of that variety was great. The other wine sorts are Babić and the white variety of Pošip, which is fresh summer wine, complements fish amazingly, and it proves that this area has a very bold wine production. Istria region is again very unique because it borders Alps, and so it has a great influx of cold air from the Alps. Unlike Dalmatia, which is mostly rocky, Istria has rich soil, which again complements production of Malvasia and Teran, the most famous red variety from that area. Malvasia and Teran both have the greatest capacity for aging of all Croatian wines. And Malvasia is generally produced in 2 styles: fresh, which is intended to be consumed in under 3 years of harvest, and also it can be aged up to a decade. Teran, the red variety, can be actually aged for decades. So now, as you can see, Dalmatia has Plavac Mali, original Zinfandel, Babić, Istria, Malvasia, and Teran, and Continental Croatia, Graševina and Frankovka, or Welsh Riesling and Blaufränkisch. So now we go a bit into the culinary heritage of Croatia. As we have distinctive wine regions, each of that wine regions corresponds with distinctive culinary and food traditions. Unlike, all around the world where fast food is strongly growing, Croatia seems to stay in that slow food trend, and it's kind of staple of our life. So it's very traditional here in Croatia to go and buy the produce that is in season, to cook food around that. And each region has different distinctive influences, ranging from the Mediterranean, from East, all the way to Central Europe. So we have the continental Croatia, which is Mediterranean, so it's oriented towards seafood, fish, a lot of pastas. We have Istria region, which is again a variety of Mediterranean food, but as I said, it's a bit colder than Dalmatia, and one of the staples of Istrian cuisine is truffles. In continental Croatia, we have much heartier food oriented towards meats, especially areas like Slavonia, which is bordering Hungary, so it's much more spicy. And the culinary heritage of Croatia is being recognized each year, and especially by growing number of Michelin star restaurants, and including many restaurants and taverns into the guidebooks. One of the foundations of culinary heritage in coastal area is the olive oil that goes back to Greek times and Greek colonies in 4th and 5th century BC. As I said, it's the foundation of the cooking in coastal area. Nothing happens before having great olive oil. And again, like wine, it's also very family oriented. Many families produce their own olive oil for their own consumption. By the magazine Flos Soleil, Istria is the best olive oil region in the world for last 6 years in a row. So very, very important note, one of the best olive oils in the world are produced in Croatia. So now you can see on the picture behind, this is the cover of our heritage cookbook that we produced. At this time, I would ask you to send us just a hi, hello, short hello, or just a small review. Have you found this presentation a bit interesting, or it gave you some interesting information? And in return, we will send you our digital cookbook for you to use at home. And thank you for your time. I would like to show you a very short video that we produced about traveling in Croatia, about culinary and wine in Croatia. So please check the video.
Okay, very good. Very interesting, says Kyron. Very informative, says Alex. Tracy says, fantastic, thank you. Okay. So do we have any questions? If you do, please post them now on the chat there, and Nino will be delighted to answer them. I have a question in the meantime. On the map of Croatia, there's 5 or 6 different regions, but one was colored gray. Is that because there's nothing there, no vineyards at all?
That's actually the mountainous area of Croatia. It has no wine production there. That was the map of wine regions, but it's a very distinctive culinary region because it has a variety of mushrooms, freshwater fish, variety of game. So it's very unique in that regard, but no wine production because it's, hilly, mountainous area.
Okay, and in terms of getting to Croatia, where would people be able to, what would be the landing point?
Well, there are several. Croatia is very well connected with flights throughout all of Europe, and very, very close. It's just a couple of hours of flight time from London, or Split, which is 45 minutes away from Rome. So usual entry points into Croatia are Dubrovnik, Split, and Zagreb, depending on which area tourists want to travel to and what areas to combine. And then Zagreb, Split, and Dubrovnik are very well connected with other hubs in Europe if you are flying from different continents.
And that's all year round, is it? Flights all year round?
Yeah, most year round. Before COVID, we had an excellent connection with Dubrovnik, had a direct flight to Philadelphia, United States. Zagreb had a great connection with Toronto in Canada. Now, because of COVID and all the flights difference happening, we'll see what will be when the situation gets back to normal. Okay,
so we have some questions now. Felipe, I think from Porto in Portugal. Well done last night in the Champions League. Where do your tourists come from? He's asking. Where typically, what's your biggest markets for Croatia?
Biggest markets for Croatia are European countries, and mostly surrounding countries like Germany, Italy, Slovenia, Austria, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland. Croatia has been a traditional travel spot for those countries and people coming from those areas, mostly self-driving. But in the last 10-15 years, the number of people coming from UK, from United States, from Australia, from Asian countries is growing significantly.
Right. Zoltan, sounds like a Croatian name, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Is asking what kind of wine tourism organizations are there, and how do they work? I'm not sure exactly what he means. Maybe you can interpret it. What kind of wine tourism organizations are there?
Well, the winemakers have their own organizations and that they participate in, but there's I don't know what exactly with wine tourism organizations is he
Yes.
thinking of.
Maybe we can ask Zoltan to clarify that question, so that we're able to answer it. Urania also, maybe.
I mean, sorry, like Croatian Chamber of Commerce, they have specific areas, and one of them is agriculture and wine producers. So there are several areas that they work together. But still, you know, it's not, there's no like general push to produce Croatian wines, because I saw one of the questions also is the quantity of production in Croatia is very low, so the exports is not so big. And now when the wine production is growing each year, I think now the promotion of Croatian wine and growth of some kind of organizations will be apparent, because it will start to be exported much more.
Okay, so Zoltan's clarified his question. He's saying tourism destination management.
Yeah, that's the different thing. That's the our travel tourism organization, and they promote, you know, Croatia as a travel destination. But one of the segments is culinary and wine, but mostly it's oriented towards general branding of Croatia.
Okay, so Alexander, is the wine industry in Croatia matching the slow food movement? First part of the question. And
Yes.
Goes on to ask, are the majority of winemakers still using traditional methods, or are they moving to more modern approach?
Well, those couple of questions are very connected. So, as I said, in the last 10, 15 years, more and more United States clients, travelers are coming, Australians. And what that brought is that although we always had a great wine production and traditions and the knowledge of producing wine, what we lacked was the investments into basements, into wine tasting rooms. And that happened in the last 10, 15 years. And that brought a great opportunities for people to visit and to taste. It's connected with the slow food movement, because in many wineries you can experience like 20, 13 courses pairing with the wine produced at the winery. So yeah, you know, the winemakers are investing a lot of money into production and following the new trends. And one of the trends that is now being followed is producing, you know, fresh wines. Croatian wines were traditionally much more full-bodied and were not designed to be drank a lot. For instance, like Plavac Mali I mentioned in Dalmatia, it's a very heavy wine, and if you drink it in summer, after one glass you're done, you know. So, but now, because of the orientation towards exporting and to bringing people here and tasting, they are implementing those new trends.
Okay, Marinos from Greece is asking, what is GRK wine? Yes, I'd like to know the answer to that. What is GRK?
That's a great question. Grk in Croatian means Greek. So on the island of Korčula, which was one of the first colonies that Greeks founded, there is an indigenous wine sort called Grk, a wine sort, white wine, and it's produced predominantly on that island, and it's great wine. And it has the name Greek, so Grk in Croatian, and it's one of the oldest varieties found in Croatia, and it goes back to that time.
Yes, incidentally, what was the answer to the poll question? Which the grape variety?
Zinfandel.
Zinfandel. Okay, so those who put Malvasia were caught out there deliberately. Suzanne, no. Yes, very little export to the UK. So I saw a question there. Yes, Claudia is with us. Are there DMCs available for us in the wine business? Wine tourism business, I think she means.
Yes, of course. There are several agencies and DMCs that are focusing on slow travel, tailor-made travel in Croatia, and one of the agencies are, of course, us.
Right. Cintanami, I said that correctly. Are the sparkling wines made by the Champagne method or by the Charmat method?
Well, that depends on the winemaker and their choice.
Right. So both is the answer.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, and somebody's answered it for her. Okay. So, do you have any more questions in the audience? If so, please post now. So those of you who got the poll right, there's 22% of you got it right. Zinfandel was the native grape variety to Croatia. If you got that right, we're going to Nino's kindly offered his presentation as a prize, so you can take that away in a moment. We'll put it up for you to download. We've got time for one more question that's just come in from Jeannie. And she's asking the following: how easy is it to book winery visits for the average consumer? First part of the question. Do most wineries advertise on certain online tour operator websites, for example, Viator, Klook? And third part and final part of the question: how easy is it to show up to a winery on the same day to book? So basically turn up and be shown the winery.
Well, again, depends on the winery. Most of the winery is not like California type that are fully opened and you just drop by and taste. It depends on the region. For instance, Istria region is very much open to that. Other ones are mostly cooperating with agencies that bring clients to their wineries for tastings. The best way to have a full, although it sounds like I'm advertising our company, but it seems to be true, is that the best way to have a connection with the winemaker, private tour, private experience, and talking with the winemaker is contacting one of the agencies and working with them.
Okay, so yes. So basically, somebody who's working in the destination can open doors that others can't. So always worthwhile. We seem to have lost his picture there, but he's still with us. So we'll just end with Sonia's asking: is it common to have accommodation with wineries?
It's not common. No, it's not common. Some wineries have accommodation, but most do not. Okay, so we're going to say thank you very much to Nino for joining us. His pictures disappeared for a moment, but he's still with us. So thank you very much, Nino, for the informative talk on Croatia. And yes, thank you very much for the opportunity of presenting Croatia, and I thank everybody who joined us and listened to the presentation. I hope it was informative. It gave you some important information and inspired you to travel or to bring clients to Croatia. Okay, and there you're back, so that's good. Yeah. Right, let's make available share the file that you kindly provided. I assume that people can see that and that they can get it, download it. Oops. Sorry about that. Can you turn that off, please? Thank you. Sorry about that. It's actually my work colleagues phoning me. I should have known I'm in this program. Okay, so next up we've got solo female travelers as a market niche that people may be interested in. That's with Valerie. So I'm going to put up the direct link to that at the top here, so that people who are not registered and are interested in finding about female travelers and their habits, you can click on the link and you can go directly to the room for the next session, which starts at 5 o'clock
Central European time. That's in 30 minutes time. So hope to see you there. It's bye from Croatia.
Bye bye.